What's going on, everybody? Mortem here, this time bringing you a look at Ereban Shadow Legacy, an indie stealth platformer title that launched yesterday from the time of this video that I thought had enough going on that it was worth a mention, as I spent a little bit of time with it and enjoyed said time. But important I tell you that I was offered a copy of this game from its developer and publisher, Baby Robot Games, which is how I'm bringing you this video and how it got onto my radar to begin with, as I'd never heard of it beforehand. And while I don't plan on reviewing this one, like I said, I had a good bit of fun with it, and I thought it was worth talking about. First things first though, we play as an Ereban, which is actually a race of people, but the catch is that our character, Ayana, is actually the very last one. Ereban are relatively similar to humans in a lot of ways, with the most substantial difference being that in anything that is not direct illumination, they become much more incorporeal, being able to blend into shadows, which allows them to traverse physical barriers, slide up walls, etc. A sort of interesting part of their physiology that makes them especially suited for specific tasks such as stealth, for instance. From there, though, the game kicks off telling us about the company Helios, which has actually invited our character for an interview to become an agent. It's quickly revealed, however, that Helios is obviously a bit of a sinister entity, but they have recently solved a pressing energy crisis that the world was going through by harnessing all sorts of energy, most notably their sun, Kepri. The company developed a giant halo device, they call it, to siphon the sun's solar power, alongside many other methods that gather energy, many of which involve the light and the sun as a whole, which is a very obvious, at the very least metaphorical conflict between our character. Though curiously, for a company all about altruism and sharing energy, they are in fact quite militant, having developed several robots designed for security. And as the tutorial comes to a close, they very much so try to do something to our character, though it doesn't quite go according to plan, which kicks off the broader narrative about our character trying to find out who she is, where she comes from. As the last of her race, she doesn't know much about her people, which then leads us into the gameplay. Now, structurally speaking, this game takes the form of chapters. After you've completed a chapter, you can go back and replay it to get extra collectibles, rewards, anything you might have missed, so seems to be a fairly time-friendly game. Otherwise, as I mentioned, stealth platformer gameplay. Now the stealth stuff is pretty straightforward. You can crouch, use all sorts of shadow powers to assist with that stealth, which is going to allow you to take out the various enemies you'll run into, which seem to primarily be these robots called Sims. Like in most stealth games though, we ourselves are pretty fragile, and being discovered basically means your death. Lucky for us, however, we have a variety of things available to us to help ease that along. For starters, we have crafting benches, which if we get the tech cards for, we can unlock certain gadgets that will make our life easier, such as a sonar allowing us to mark the positions of enemies, alongside reconnaissance tools, etc., which is going to give us that little bit of extra oomph in just simply exploring and trying to figure out where everything is. Now in certain places we can also pick up shadow orbs, as they're called, and these will fuel our extra powers, allowing us to do even more from the shadows themselves, such as wall jumps, a dash, etc. Now you put those things together and you have a few different options in combat, mostly between going completely unnoticed or attacking and destroying everything from stealth. And that's fun enough, if a bit run-of-the-mill for most stealth games. But we do also have that platforming element, which rather unsurprisingly really plays around with the light mechanic. A lot of our shadow powers can only be activated if we are not in direct light, and a lot of the puzzles lean into that, doing things like having moving shadows you have to stick to, alongside interesting ways to traverse the terrain just generally, because as I mentioned, we can in fact use our shadow meld powers to climb and move around walls. And all of those things, combined with a very striking art style, made the game very attractive for me at least. I enjoyed my time with it, and I plan on playing it a little bit more actually, which is pretty much going to do it for this particular video. Now, if you happen to be interested, this game is pretty cheap. As an indie title, it is only going to be $25 full price, though it is on a small launch sale right now at $22 US. So if you're looking for a smaller indie game to fill a gap or something here or there, Ereban Shadow Legacy looks like it might be for you. All of that said though, certainly hope you enjoyed the video, hope you found it informative. Do let me know what you think of this particular title down in the comment section below. which naturally means to like, comment, subscribe, all that YouTube jazz. But regardless of any of that, truly, just thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. May you wander in wisdom and have an amazing day.